This is Max Scherzer, Pro Boxing Fans. I'm live joined today, and I can't believe I'm saying this, by Kell Brook, back boxing. I mean, this is just day one, and I know you've got all the cameras here, but what does it feel like you're back as a fighter? What does it actually feel like today?
You know, it's what I do. You know what I mean? It's what I'm used to seeing. You know, I've been topping bills for many years. You know what I mean? And it's nice that they've come out. You know, for Ricky and for myself. You know, we're in Manchester, Ricky Hatton's gym. You know, I feel very proud. You know what I mean? That I'm doing this fight for Ricky. You know, for mental health and addiction and depression. And it's beautiful to see that the Hatton family is going to be on the undercard as well. You know what I mean? It's going to be a proud moment, you know, the 11th of April.
Definitely. I mean, you say it's what you do, and I think that's what you get when you speak to fighters, especially people like yourself that have been at that very top level. I imagine maybe over the years since being out of the ring, have you almost had the urge to come back, and now, like you say, with such a great cause, is this just the perfect time for it?
It's just the perfect time, you know, it was meant to be. You know, I'll be honest with you, I weren't, you know, for me, I was retired, happily retired, you know, but like I say, you know, you don't know what's round the corner, and Issa contacted me and explained the situation, and you know that I felt that, you know, I needed to do this, you know, especially for Ricky, and here we are.
And like you say, in terms of Ricky and obviously fighting with some of his family members on the card, just how important is that? I know obviously it's boxing, but just the message behind the show, and I imagine the events in the future.
Yeah, it's the message behind. It's the message, you know, for me. This is why I'm doing it, you know, for Ricky. You know, he was going through tough times, and me personally, I've been through them tough times. I've gone through it. You know, so it's basically for people what are struggling, that, you know, that they're a phone call away. You know, reach out. You know, you're not alone. You know what I mean? Just reach out, because I know that men struggle, you know, to reach out, and we get drastic bad things. What happens if you're left to your own devices sometimes in that moment, you know? So it's just about reaching out and being there for each other.
Definitely. I think I would say that boxing's almost your medicine. It's kind of that moment where you get to be yourself. Just how important has it been getting back in the ring and kind of being back to your best?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? I've had quite a while out, 4 years, and I boxed in Khan, and it's been nice to be back in the gym and start getting fitter, lighter, sleeping better, eating better. You know, everything's, you know, coming to plan now, and I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. You know, the people here today, you know, they've come out for Ricky and for myself and for this show, so I want to put a show on for them.
Can you almost describe like that first day of camp? I don't know, obviously you're still in shape, but when you come back after a few years out, was it a bit more of a struggle this time around, I imagine?
It was a very big struggle, You know, I wanted to pack in at times, but you know, I know that you know, it's one day at a time. You know, and I think just stick with it. And now we're crawling. Now we're running. You know, now we're running, and we're bringing that momentum. Everything's coming to plan. Don't get me wrong, it was very hard at the beginning, but we got through it.
So at what point are you at now? Like I say, you've gone from crawling to running. Obviously, we're a couple of months out now. Just how are you actually feeling? Just being a couple of months back from your ring return.
Listen, I'm feeling great. You know, I'm feeling great now. Like I said, I'm feeling fitter, faster, stronger. You know, and you know, guys in the gym are coming up to me and saying you can tell that you've come a long way from that first day. So yeah, I'm looking forward to these next couple of months for just tweaking even more.
I don't want to put words into your mouth here, but I imagine there's so much motivation. Obviously, we know the message behind it, and also you're fighting as a dad, just fighting in front of your own son and putting on a performance that you're expecting April 11th. Just the motivation behind this fight, surely it's second to none.
Absolutely, you know, the main thing is for me is for Ricky. You know, for Ricky, this is for Ricky and for people, you know, mental health, and that comes first. But obviously, you know, all around it, you know, it's exciting all around. You know, my son, my first boy, you know, he's here today, and he's going to be looking back, you know, in time to come and looking at his mum and dad who were champions, and you know, he were there and kind of involved with it, and so it's a proud moment for me. My son's here, my family, you know, everyone's here. It's a good turnout today, and I'm excited excited to be involved in this fight.
April 11th, what kind of performance can we expect from Kell Brook?
Exciting, electric. You know what I mean? I'm going to be turning up. You know, I'm training hard. I'm looking forward to displaying, you know, the special one. Chocolate brownies, fireworks. It's all coming. 11th of April.
Talk to me about the opponent. I know this is your fight. This is the Kell Brook return. But what do you know about your opponent? What are you expecting?
You know, I can see in his eyes that he's excited. He wants it. You know, he's doing it for United Emirates. He's doing it for Dubai. He's excited. He wants this fight, and you know, he's not coming to lay down. He means business. So, you know, I'm going to have my hands full, and you've got to respect anybody what gets in that ring. So, you know, his side means business. So, I've got my hands full, but I'm ready.
Definitely. And like I say, when you're a fighter, you don't lose it. And I imagine for you, you'll be sat there at home, maybe watching people fight, and you're thinking, I could beat him. I want that fight. Like I said, obviously, the big question is it one and done, or could there be more in the future? Where are you at? I know obviously you don't want to look past April 11th, but are you back in camp now and thinking, I'm back?
I'm back, listen, I'm back. You know, the mojo is definitely back. And once this fight's over, we'll just reassess things, you know what I mean? Do I go again? Who knows? You know, I could do. You know, I could do. You know, it just depends. You know, it depends, you know, what's there, you know, it depends how I feel.
Just while I've got you, I want to ask you about some boxing that's about to come up. Obviously, Tyson Fury returns. I did just notice on the same day as your fight. What do you think his motivations are for returning? Is it maybe a third world title? Is it obviously the Anthony Joshua fight if he does return to boxing? What do you think Tyson Fury's motivations are?
I think his motivation is, you know, to have this fight, and, you know, because he's had some close fights with Usyk, you know, I think that he wants to, you know, to revenge them losses and become champion again. You know, that's what I believe. I don't think it's this one fight. I think his motivation is a lot wider than that, you know, becoming a world champion and probably fighting AJ.
And just last one before I let you go, a man that you have obviously fought, there was reports last night that apparently he'll be returning in the summer, Errol Spence Jr versus Tszyu. I mean, what do you make of that return? Obviously 3 years at the ring for himself. Just what do you make of his return?
You know, I'm excited as well. You know, I wish that I would have fought, you know, him back in the day. You know, but you know, it's exciting. I met Tszyu when I was in Australia, and it'll be interesting to see them two meet and lock on. So, you know, I'll be watching that, and I'll be excited to see, you know, the winner is. You know, you never know. You know, I could fight the winner.
Definitely. Well, Kell, best of luck.